You're just in time for Newswatch on the 18th day of May 2022. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch on Hope TV, where you look and live. I'm TESS NJENGA, and our sign language interpreter tonight is Boniface Mureithi. Newswatch is also streaming live on YouTube and Facebook at Hope TV Kenya. Let's kick off. President Uhuru Kenyatta has called on African nations to increase investment in the war against corruption and transnational organized crimes to curb the loss of resources that would otherwise be used for the continent's development. Citing estimates by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, President Kenyatta said Africa loses roughly $88.8 billion in illegal financial flows each year, which translates into 3.7% of its gross domestic product. President Kenyatta added that as a result, the continent effectively loses more wealth than it gains by at least $40 billion annually.
Your SCP that was meant to be played. For the last 2 days, Your Excellency, the International Association of Prosecutors' 4th Regional Conference for Africa and Indian Ocean and the East African Association of Prosecutors Conference has engaged in deep deliberation and shared experiences aimed at improving prosecution and investigations of international organized crimes under the theme Effective Mechanism for Responding to Emerging and Transnational Crimes, Country Challenges and Experiences.
When you took the oath of office in 2013, there wasn't so much to write home about in terms of institutionalization of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. What has happened over the years is a tribute to your solid leadership. And I have had the opportunity as a member of the National Security Council to sit on the front row seat to witness how you have personally insisted that we allocate resources and support the intense institutionalization of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Premised on a framework of shared learning, the theme invites all of us to reflect on the need for innovation in our strategies, interventions, as well as our respective operations. But more importantly, the theme also demands of us to rededicate ourselves to our global commitments to combat transnational organized crime and to do so collectively in a collaborative manner, but to also do so innovatively and in a manner that nonetheless always upholds our fundamental values.
Now to some politics. A latest survey poll by the Trends and Insights for Africa TIFA research firm has placed Raila Odinga as the most popular presidential candidate over Deputy President William Ruto, just a few days after the two unveiled their running mates. According to the opinion poll released today, Odinga's running mate Martha Karua is more popular than Ruto's running mate Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka's running mate Andrew Sunkuli. And as Dickens Luvanda reports, running mates' politics and popularity is likely to influence the outcome of the August 9th polls.
If opinion polls are anything to go by, then Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance presidential candidate Raila Odinga's choice of Na Kenya party leader Martha Karua as his August 9th election running mate is the best bet, at least for now.
Whether because they don't like political parties or they're just not interested.
A survey by TIFA research and marketing firm has placed Odinga ahead of his closest challenger William Ruto in the race to State House. A total of 1,719 respondents were polled in the phone call survey conducted between May 15th and May 16th, 2022, placing Odinga at 39% preferred presidential candidate against Ruto 35%, while Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka came a distant third, with just 2% of the respondents saying they will cast their vote in his favor at the August polls.
39% of our sample said that they would be voting for Raila Odinga as president and Martha Karua as his running mate, and slightly fewer, 35%, said they would be voting for the deputy president and his running mate. And far, far fewer, just 2%, said as of now or as of yesterday, they would be voting for Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. We still have 14% who said they were undecided, 1% who said they wouldn't vote, whether because they're not registered or they have no interest in presidential election this time.
While releasing the results, lead researcher Tom Wolf said Raila and his running mate Martha Karua will be voted for by 69% of respondents in Nyanza, while Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua would get 66% support from the South Rift.
Do not say, as many people did in the media when they were reporting the results of another survey a couple of days ago, that there must be a runoff because nobody has 50%. That doesn't make any sense.
In terms of running mate popularity, 85% of the respondents said they know Martha Karua, 59% know Rigathi Gachagua, while 29% are aware of who Andrew Sunkuli is.
In gender terms, about 8% more men at the moment express support or voting intentions for Mr. Odinga and Ms. Karua than women. But that's not really because there's so many more women who are supporting the other main pair of candidates, but rather that among the undecided and among those who didn't give us an answer, there were so many more women. 19 versus 9 women versus men who were undecided, and 10 versus 5 who didn't answer the question.
Odinga's Azimio la Umoja Oka Coalition and Ruto's Kenya Kwanza Alliance continues to criticize each other in their campaign trails as IEBC prepares to conduct an election pitting the two top presidential contenders. Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Dickens, for that report. Now, Deputy President William Ruto has said the general election on August 9th will be a vote against political deceit and conmanship. He noted that Kenya Kwanza will be presenting to Kenyans the bottom-up economic model for a vote. He spoke today when he met grassroots leaders, opinion shapers, and UDA coordinators from Kiambu County, led by Kikuyu Member of Parliament Kimani Ichung'wah at the current residence.
Those who believed in the politics of deceit na ukora na utapeli katika siasa ya Kenya wamekuwa upande moja. Si mnajua? Musalia amehama, Wetangula amehama, Kalonzo ndio amehama. So this election is going to end the careers of leaders who believe in the politics of conmanship and deceit.
Our competitors on the other side, you saw them. Their running mate has been assigned the responsibility to change the constitution so that leaders can share positions and power. Us, in UDA and Kenya Kwanza, I gave instructions on day one to my running mate that he will run on the idea of the economy. In fact, that's the reason why from tomorrow, the next 5 days, we are going to have economic fora in different parts of our country.
Now, the race for Nairobi governor's seat has intensified with the entrance of Kenneth Nyamwamu, who is keen on making Nairobi a business-friendly place. Nyamwamu, who is a computer science engineer, is planning to vie on a UPA ticket and will battle it out with Johnson Sakaja, Polycarp Igathe, among others. Also key in his manifesto is to improve county health services, to offer affordable and efficient public transport systems, and provide electricity and water to informal settlements.
They're running for governor for Nairobi to give a new face to Nairobi, to tell Nairobi can actually have their own person, to give sort of a voice to the people who cannot be heard or people who are scared of intimidation. So I am here to say, you know what, we need to change things in City Hall. We need to have fresh leaders, leaders who are not tainted, not leaders who have connections, no leaders who have been doing nothing. Same old people in City Hall, just because they have connections, they go there and they don't deliver services to the people. My administration pledges to slice all licenses by 50%, so that people can be able to buy licenses and then they have extra money to boost in their stock or to boost their businesses. When businesses thrive, businesses create employment. When employment is created, our young men and young women get jobs, which means less crime.
Away from politics, the Ministry of Education has expressed concern over the high number of students who failed to join secondary schools from informal settlements in Naivasha. Poverty was identified as the main contributor for the high numbers, with parents struggling to raise school fees for the students. This came as Equity Bank, through its Elimu Scholarship Program, came to the rescue of the bright students from needy families. Dolly Murigi has more.
The recent COVID-19 pandemic, which saw tens of parents lose their jobs, has contributed to the crisis as students continue to report to Form 1, with poverty being one of the contributors towards the situation. This came as Equity Bank, through its Elimu Scholarship Program, came to the rescue of bright students from needy families. According to Naivasha Sub-County Education Officer Bernard Chichir, the bank had supported 240 needy students to join secondary school, noting that the majority of them were from poor background and lived in various informal settlements in Naivasha. Speaking while flagging off the scholarships, Chirchir said the government is committed to 100% student transition despite school fees challenge.
My parents were not able to take me to Mboni Girls, where I was called, so they had chosen to take me to a day school. But because of this Elimu, we applied for it, and we, thanks be to God, we are called.
I got the interview here and I passed, and now I'm here to be already scholared by Elimu Scholarship, and I thank them, the government and the Equity Committee.
Nashukuru Mungu kwa siku ya leo, na nashukuru pia watu wa elimu kwa kuwa pamoja nasi. Na nawapongeza sana watu wa elimu kwa kutusikilia.
Dolly Murigi, Hope TV.
Thank you, Dolly, for that report. Still in education, as schools, 2 dormitories in Sameta sub-county were razed in an inferno that police suspect could be an arson attack. Property of unknown value, including learners' personal effects, were consumed by the fire that left parents and teachers surprised. No casualties were reported in the incident. Following the alleged attack, the school management, Ministry of Education officers and parents held a crisis meeting in which it was decided the learners be retained in school and be accommodated in a hall. Learners hard hit by the fire outbreak were allowed to accompany their parents home for counseling and replacement of the burnt items. Kisii County Commander Francis Colley said investigations had commenced to unearth the cause of the fire that gutted down the dormitories with a capacity of 100 learners.
Vile tulipigiwa simu tukakuja kuona vile shule ilichomeka, bweni zote mbili zilichomeka. Wamekuwa na kikao na management ya shule, na pia wameturuhusu hata nguo zenye si rasmi kwa shule, si uniform, tutaweza enda hata nyumbani tulete, ndio watoto wabadilishe. Juu zote ziliungua, mattress zote ziliungua, kila kitu kiliungua, walikuwa tu na zenye walikuwa wameweka.
Kwa jambo hili hata sisi tumeshangaa, kwa sababu hatukuwa na estima kwa shule. Limefanyika kwa njia ya kiajabu, lakini hatujajua mtu yeyote, lakini kwa yote na vyote tumeachia Mungu, na tunakemea hiki kitendo katika jina la Yesu. Mungu alinde watoto wetu, na tunajua kwamba kila kitu itakuwa sawa.
Nimesikitika sana kuona shule vile imeungua. Mimi ni mzazi, niko na watoto hapa. Tumeshangaa sana, watoto wetu hawana chochote. Tumeingia kwa mabweni, kila kitu kimeungua. Tunashangaa, tunaomba serikali tusaidie watoto wetu waendelee na masomo.
And Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha has said that the first phase of the construction of 10,000 competency-based curriculum classrooms is 96% done. Speaking in Butere, where he launched the construction of CBC classrooms, CS Magoha stated that junior secondary school will be offered in both boarding and day secondary schools across the country, adding that the ministry is training CBC teachers so as to have a smooth transition of the grade 6 learners.
We are about approaching 20 counties that are 100%, another 20 or so which are at 99%. But the point is, we want, there are 6,497, and the completed ones are approaching 6,000. I think by the grace of God, in another 2 weeks, we shall have completed all of them. I would like to say that competency-based curriculum does not belong to Professor Magoha. Professor Magoha is an implementer who found the process ongoing and is doing what he always does by ensuring that he does all that should be done. We are going to continue to train our teachers in the best way that we can so that they are prepared for next year. As the example, these children is going to be printed maybe starting a week or two from now. Almost all the children are now registered. I think we are going to bend backwards to allow for 1 or 2 days of mopping up because we love the children. When it gets to January 2023, there will be a government of Kenyans by Kenyans for Kenyan children. So stop talking as if this election is going to end the world. In terms of day schools, you know for sure that 75% of our schools are day schools. So all those day schools are going to admit CBC children.
On that note, let's take our first break on Newswatch tonight. We will be back with much more news.
Yesu ndiye njia. Juu ya mwamba huu nitalijenga kanisa langu.
Hapa leo hii tuko na msikiti wa Mariamu, msikiti wa Yesu.
Kumbe kuna msikiti wa Yesu.
Ukiandika msikiti wa Yesu Kristo, mwana wa Mariamu, weka injili ndani, hubiria watu injili.
Kitabu ya Yohana inaandikwa 110 AD na Ufunuo Yohana 248 AD.
Na Qur'ani.
Mimi nakueleza habari ya Yesu kwanza, ufahamu hiyo kwanza.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Qur'an imekuja mwaka 600 baada ya Injili.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Biblia inasema pepo la nini? La uaguzi. Pepo la uaguzi maana yake inaweza ikajua wewe nyumbani kwako umetoka saa ngapi. Unajua mapepo yanajua hivi. Kwamba leo ulikula chakula gani.
Kama Bwana Yesu alitumwa kwa wana wa Israeli peke yao, wengine wetu ambao tunamwamini, basi sehemu yetu iko wapi?
Yesu ndiye njia. Kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Welcome back. Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Malim Mohammed has cautioned politicians in the region over planning parallel political campaign meetings that might trigger fights and clashing among supporters. The regional commissioner said that politicians should follow the Public Order Act and notify the security team of any political meetings they have. He urged politicians to conduct peaceful campaigns without disrupting peace and order, adding that the government has put in place measures on election preparedness. Speaking after meeting with chiefs and their assistants at Ntelo Hall in Kapenguria, Malim, who was on a tour to familiarize himself with the region, also met with the security team and government officers.
Watu wapige siasa, waombe kura, lakini wasijaribu kufuruga amani ya nchi hii. Kama nchi tumejipanga vilivyo. Tuna kamati katika kitaifa. Hivi majuzi nilikuwa sehemu za Nakuru, tumeanzisha regional multisectoral committees ya election preparedness kupanga mambo ya uchaguzi. katika county commissioners na wenzao wakiwa na washikadau mbalimbali, lazima wapange hiyo maneno. Kutoka hapo tuko na deputy county commissioners ambaye wana hizo sub county multi-sectoral committees. Kwa hivyo tunajua uchaguzi kabla ya tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 kutakuwa na mambo ya campaigns, na tumeambiwa labda tarehe 8 tarehe 9 mwezi wa 6 utakuwa umeanza rasmi. Hata sasa hii inaendelea, lakini ile rasmi ya IEBC. Kwa hivyo tunataka wanasiasa wafuate utaratibu. We have the Public Order Act. Huwezi ukafanya tu mkutano hivi. Lazima upashe habari. That police station, that officer commanding station, bosi yesa akijulishwa, he cannot make a sole decision. Ana consult wenzake sasa wanajipanga kuhakikisha kuwa kuna usalama wa kutosha. Na tutaka ushindani katika viongozi. Wakiwa wanashindana, basi waheshimu utaratibu.
Kirinyaga Majority Leader, member of County Assembly, that is MCA, James Kamau Murango, was arraigned in Mombasa court on allegations of forging documents to win a tender to supply crane spare parts to Kenya Ports Authority. The accused was arrested in Kirinyaga on Monday evening and was taken all the way to Mombasa to face several charges of corruption and forgery committed during a tendering process at the port of Mombasa in 2020.
I did present them the summons to appear. The last set was to appear on 15th of March 2022.
There are pending issues other than the plea.
There are pending issues, but in
you address me after the plea?
Let's take the plea, then I'll address that, because that will guarantee him at least the freedom.
While substantial progress has been made to increase access to clean drinking water and sanitation, billions of people, mostly in rural areas, still lack these essential services. Against this backdrop, Uasin Gishu gubernatorial aspirant Bundotich Zedekiah Kiprop, alias Buzeki, has pledged to improve water services in the area should he be elected governor in August. Speaking in Baharini, Kapkeino and Kimuruk areas within Olare ward, where he took his campaigns for the governor bid on Tuesday, Buzeki faulted a section of politicians for not fulfilling their promises to the electorate.
Nataka Uasin Gishu ikuwe ni kaunti ambaye itatoa mfano mzuri kwa Kenya, ioneshe sura ya uongozi ambaye inafanywa na upendo na inafanywa na bidii na inafanywa na mipango, inaweza kubadilisha maisha ya watu. Kwa hivyo niko na mipangilio ile nataka nikuje niwafanyie. Number 1, kuna kitu imeongelewa Kenya mzima na Uasin Gishu kwa miaka mingi, lakini wengi hawajatia bidii ya kutosha. Maneno ya maji. Maneno ya maji ni kitu imeleta shida, kwa sababu viongozi tu wanaongea wakati wakiomba kura, lakini wakiingia ofisini maneno ya maji inawachwa mpaka baada ya miaka 5 wanakuja tena kutumia hiyo nafasi kuomba kura. Nataka nifikishe hiyo maisha kikomo. Nimesema hapa mko na maji iko karibu. Nitaweka maneno ya maji ikuwe priority. Na haswa ile maji ambayo iko Timbarua, nataka niweke pipe kubwa ile inatoka huko Ujerumani ile haijaonekana. Nataka nivurute ile maji ya Timbarua ikuje na pipe yote ipite mpaka ingie Naiberi mpaka ingie Eldoret, na watu wafungue maji kwa mifereji yao na itapita hapa kwenyu. Mimi nifanye kitu moja kwa mwaka na nimalize. Kwa hivyo nawahakikishia kama mara ya kuingia ofisi hii 2022-23 financial year, nitachukua pesa bilioni 1 niweke kwa hiyo maji, ni make sure kwa miezi 12 hiyo project ya maji imemalizika na watu wakakunywa maji na nikasimamia mwenyewe.
Let us cross our borders. Rescue workers have found no survivors in a rescue chamber deep inside a flooded zinc mine in Burkina Faso. There's, however, a little bit of hope that 8 missing miners could still be alive after a month. The Pacoa mine, owned by Canadian firm Traveli Mining Corp and located about 120 kilometers west of the capital, Ouagadougou, was abruptly submerged on the 16th of April after torrential rain fell unexpectedly during the country's dry season. Both the company and the government have launched investigations into the causes of the incident. Further afield, Sweden and Finland have formally submitted their applications to join NATO in one of the biggest geopolitical consequences to date of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Neutral throughout the Cold War, the two countries' decision to join the alliance is one of the most significant changes in Europe's security architecture in decades. The applications must now be weighed by the 30 member countries. That process is expected to take about 2 weeks, although Turkish President Recep Tayyip has expressed reservations about Finland and Sweden joining.
Hope TV is now available on GoTV Channel 103, Zuku Channel 873, Signet Channel 817 and Star Times Channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV, you look and live.
Join John Carson every weekday as he takes us on a journey through the Bible.
Whoever shall seek to save his life, if you go back to living for yourself, you're going to lose it. But whoever shall lose his life, give up his life for my sake, he shall preserve it.
Enjoy interesting, knowledge-packed, yet simple teachings through his humor and in-depth understanding of God's Word.
The last people that tried to put God in a box, literally, he rose again. He wouldn't stay in their compartment. If God was small enough for me to figure out, he wouldn't be big enough for me to worship.
Tune in to Hope TV for John Carson every 10 p.m., 4 a.m., and 10 a.m. weekdays on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at business. Murang'a farmers have raised concerns over recent increased theft of their avocado from farms. The farmers have decried the trend as causing them huge losses and posing a risk of exporting immature avocado to international markets. On Tuesday, the farmers, led by their cooperative union officials, petitioned the Murang'a County Assembly to formulate a law which will protect their fruits. Presenting the petition before the Assembly Speaker, Honorable Nduati Kariuki, the farmers accused brokers of perpetuating the theft of avocado from farms. According to the chairman of Murang'a Avocado Cooperative Union, John Mwaniki, the farmers complained that the unlicensed middlemen are using youth to steal avocado from farmers' farms and sell to them at meager prices.
Wakulima bado wanaendelea kujaribu vile wanaweza linda hiyo matunda yao, lakini inaenda kuwa in vain, sababu hawa wenye kuimba unakuta ni mtu anakujua, anajua mienendo yako. Ukikaa huko mchana anakuja usiku, ukikuja usiku hata mchana anakutime, kienda kwa kanisa, kwa masisi, anaingia kwa shamba na hiyo matunda inachuna.
Ile tu ningetaka kusema ni kuambia wakulima wetu kutoka Murang'a tuungane zote pamoja, kwa sababu tukiungana pamoja hii mambo yote kama hiyo ya wizi ya bei kidogo haitakuwemo, kwa sababu tutakuwa tunapata njia ya wakulima wetu wote kuabua na watu wa HCDA wakati tunastahili kuwa tunaanzia kuchuna matunda area fulani.
Wamefungua maduka ile haina licenses kwa kila centers. Ukienda kwa centers mingi utakuta hao middlemen wanachukua matunda hapo, wananunulia matunda hapo. So wana encourage hao vijana kuiba matunda, kwa sababu kijana akigia tu kwa shamba hata chukua muda mrefu kupeleka kwa mbaya. Kwa hivyo tu ni kuenda kwa shamba kupitia nyuma, anaenda wanafuna matunda hata ikiwa ni kilo 5 ama ni kilo 10, anachukua tu directly anapeleka kwa huyo mtu.
We want there to be a proof of origin at all stages. Up to the exporter, there is a proof of origin. Right down from the farmer, he has given a receipt. If it is a supplier or to a broker that have sold this person so much avocado. And the exporter will also be required to show where he got the avocado from.
The Ministry of Water has sped up construction works for water distribution networks in Mombasa to ensure that the projects are completed by October this year. The Chief Administrative Secretary in the Water Ministry, Dr. Andrew Twimur, pitched camp in Mombasa to inspect and assess the ongoing projects. He began with a tour of the Kipevu wastewater treatment plant and repolling in Mombasa West mainland being rehabilitated at a cost of about 280 million Kenya shillings. He was accompanied by representatives from the Mombasa County Commissioner's Office and officials from the Coast Waterworks Development Agency who are implementing the projects.
This morning we've looked at the distribution waterworks. We started first of all with the Kipevu treatment plant, which is an old plant that was built in the 1980s. We are trying to rehabilitate it because sanitation issues are very key for us, particularly in Mombasa town. Kipevu is being rehabilitated at a cost of about 280 million, and this will enable it to serve about 17,000 people on the other side of near Kipevu. And of course there will be other areas that it will serve through exhausters and so forth. So that plan should be ready before the end of by November, so that it can serve sanitation purposes in Mombasa County. Similarly, today we have also looked at distribution networks that are being built. We started with one on the other side of Kisauni, which is the northern mainland, which is about 140 kilometers, at a cost of about 700 million Kenya shillings. That one also will really help to serve almost more than 200,000 people on the other side. And here now we are in Nyali. Nyali, we also have a distribution network that we are doing, which is going to cost about 560 million. And this will serve over 200,000 people similarly. These two projects are moving on well, and we expect them to be completed by October.
And in sports, KCB women's volleyball team will take part in the African Club Championships in Tunisia beginning tomorrow to the 1st of June 2022. The team, which currently tops the Kenya Volleyball Federation League, will join other Kenyan sides, which include Kenya Prisons and Kenya Pipeline in the competition. This year's edition of the African Volleyball Confederation Women Cup Championship has attracted 13 women's volleyball teams from across the continent.
This team is prepared well and is ready to go for the club championship. This flag we have stood here today, we have stood when the flag is high. We are bringing the flag still high, so we are bringing the good result from Tunisia. This is the second time Madam Sid is giving me the flag for the club championship. Last time she gave me, we are going to Egypt. The team was still very new. We didn't perform well, but the team has matured now, this second time. And I'm hopeful that when they come back, the result will be very good.
Hadi sasa mazoezi imekuwa sawa, tumekuwa tukitrainia pale Indo Arena pale Absa. Naweza sema mazoezi imekuwa sawa. We've worked on our areas of weaknesses based on the previous league we played. So I can say the team is very much ready and ready for the task ahead. Yeah. Based on our previous league, I can say what did not work for us is the defense, and our coaches have really worked on it. So I can say we are ready to go. That was a major undoing in the previous match we played.
And the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, NOC, has awarded 11 athletes from different federations with scholarships amounting to 27 million shillings for 3 years. The scholarships are aimed at helping the athletes in their preparations and qualifications ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. The 11 athletes were nominated by their respective federations and presented to the committee for vetting by the International Federation based on their performances and ratings. To international sports, Liverpool have taken the Premier League title race down to the final day of the season by coming from behind to beat Southampton 2-1 on Tuesday night. Jurgen Klopp's side new defeat would hand the title to Manchester City, while even a draw would effectively end the challenge because of their inferior goal difference. Goals from Takumi Minamino and Joel Matip saw Liverpool move to within 1 point of title rivals Manchester City. And that's all we had for you on Newswatch tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm TESS NJENGA, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. God willing, see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Have a good night and be blessed.